Oh boy. Now what the fuck is this? Ah, the event. Oh boy! Not with this team.
Yoo-hoo! Busted! Make way for the skyward! Scatter! Cross over! Shower me with grit!
Why is Yoimiya better at dealing with this? Where are my goddamn instructors?
Snow!
I tried completing it but my dad never actually. But as this dagger clearly shows, I went in.
Oh, why are they still active?
Strike a pose! Time to shine! Things are about to get dicey. Scatter!
The thing is that genuinely saddens me is that because I was hoping to dive in here and be like, hot take RE6 is a base action title. Because playing through RE6, I can see it's on your average. Not sometimes you're going to expect it for disaster. Or Sonic 6 or some game that was woefully undercooked. Serious Sonic. This voiceover. Instead, Resident Evil 6 just goes before the game that shot.
What the fuck?
As I said in the previous video, Resident Evil 5 was a high-star game.
Is it my time?
Already did that. It's already game. Capcom's hope with RE6 was not only to focus on what they thought would be Resident Evil 5, but to also attract millions upon millions of people who played Call of Duty.
The sun feels almost as hot as those studio lights I'm in front of.
This is one of those games, and I'm sure I'd regret many times if I ever sat down to try one. But still, facing trends like this can lead to your game being the best execution of that idea, or it can just come off as a test. But as Capcom said then, the survival horror market was just too small to make big games for. So instead, they wanted to was what the most popular thing at the time was, which was the military action
I
shooter.
should take
That
off my hat and let the snowflakes fall onto my face. I feel like that would be really refreshing.
I wanted to give anything a shot and see how I feel about it, so I went into Resident Evil 6 hoping to do
Off we go! Hey there!
character, Agent Helena Harper. They're in the middle of a citywide
Adventure time!
Helena knows and criticizes Sheriff Simmons is responsible and leads Leon to a secret lab for proof that they are then blamed for it and travel to China to find and expose the Simmons. Chris Redfield is joined by Peter Gibbons, one of Chris's gets a conference. Their unit was wiped out by being exposed to the virus and drunk out.
It really hurt!
Found by Pierce and brought back into the fight to find and stop the woman responsible, Ada Wong. Jerry Williams, now a government agent, is tasked with locating Jay Mueller, who has antibodies for the C virus, which is the vaccine. Lastly, the Wong campaign is Pierce. These 4 campaigns are all happening at the same time, and the characters from agents cross paths or come into conflict. But the gameplay between the 4 stories is exactly the same, so that basic knowledge is all you really need to know to get into Resident Evil 6. I had a lot of issues with this game from the moment it started. Like this kind of slow prologue where Leon has to drag Helena to safety, followed by some explosions and chase scenes. But then, once I was actually into Leon's story properly, the first chapter was quite the learning curve. The game is all about the action, but things are pretty different from RE4 and even RE5. First thing I had to grapple with was how the camera is really zoomed in. I didn't get used to it after the first play session, but when I started, I just felt like the camera was too close, and that made the combat of the early game pretty difficult because zombies were all around me, and a lot of the time I couldn't see them coming. Or I'd be hit by a train or an ambulance.
Look! Up in the sky! Look at the scorching sun! It's like a blast furnace! You know what this means? It means we have to drop everything right now and make a run for the ice cream store. We need to get 2 of the biggest cones they sell, and then it's an all-out race to see who can finish before it melts.
You do get used to it, but most of my deaths in RE6 came from Leon Chapter 1, where you need to get through the infected city. I was getting grabbed by enemies I couldn't see, and got overwhelmed by the sheer volume of combat I'd done from the first level. I actually didn't die that many times from then on, especially in the other campaigns when I got compared to the gameplay. But there are still issues.
How do I deal with these things again?
The character will have a few blocks of health, and it runs out pretty fast. Just fine out. But the best get out of this bar and file the attack. Combine that feeling of not much health.
Definitely not by attacking.
I was given a poor first impression of this game. But to its credit, once you get a flow going, I think its combat mechanics are pretty satisfying at their best. Whatever character you play as will have access to a bunch of weapons, and you'll have a ton of options for engaging enemies. Melee attacks used to be context sensitive, but in RE6 you can just attack any enemy with punches or kicks by pressing a button. From that will allow you to do cool combo attacks, roundhouse kick with a gun, or a backhand as Chris that clears enemies. Your ability to do melee attacks depends on the stamina gauge below your health bar. As it turns out, your character of choice will move slower and not be able to defend themselves as well, so you don't want to overuse melee attacks either. But your options don't stop there. You can quick-fire gun attacks with stun enemies, leaving them open for melee attacks, and you have more mobility while shooting than ever before. Not only can you now move while aiming, you can also dive out of the way of any attack by rolling forward, diving back, sideways, or sliding into enemies, or rolling out of the way of attacks while shooting from the ground. Besides the Phantom Pain, I haven't played many games that handle shooting like this, and I think it can be a lot of fun to work with at times.
I think I need Pyro. I literally just need Pyro.
The first of these reasons is that the enemy variety is pretty lacking in RE6. Leon's story brings zombies back into the RE series, and I thought these were the most fun enemies to fight as they're more mobile than the classic RE ones, and even use weapons.
Yep.
But still fun to fight with your various tools of combining guns with melee attacks. Once I started Chris's story, I was introduced to Lava Ren, or bats enhanced by the C virus. As Chris, Jake, and Ada, these guys have been overwhelming before you enemies will face off against in Resident Evil 6. The issue is I don't feel like they were fun to fight with. They mostly blasted at you with guns from a distance. So many encounters in RE6 have become war of attrition systems. Games have made systems like that work just fine. Awkward coverage.
Quietly now.
Long, just get pulled out.
Busted. Here comes the catch.
Dissipate! Let the magic begin! Over here! Invisible evidence!
Like I said, really tired. So I have RE6. In the previous video, I didn't realize how important it was that I went over the key pillars of RE6 design. I'm glad I
scent of
did,
treasure.
because I can use that to further explain why I think RE6 fails. I'm going on record to say that I don't think franchises need to play with the exact same gameplay and structure for all eternity to still be valid entries in that series. To recap, I think RE is not about fixed cameras and slower paced combat. I think Resident Evil is about resource management, tension, exploration, and replayability. Something like Resident Evil 1 have resource management come from the game's finite supply of ammo and inventory. Players are required to think about their supplies and how best to use them to get through the entire game. Tension arises from this because you don't want to die and go back to the last save fight. You don't want to
Incinerate! Surprise!
You're trapped in one location for the whole
Gotcha.
game. Explore and find
Busted.
find the game so much easier. That is how Resident Evil 1 never feels fundamentals. Something like RE5, managing resources like navigating for ammo
The room!
you're going to play the top of the mind all the time.
Our bond is strong!
Quietly now.
Incinerate!
Then you can play the game with the fast-paced and fun action. I believe these are both Resident Evil games. They're not very similar in how they play, but I believe those four principles make them feel like they're in the same series. At least, that's how I feel. When judging Resident Evil 6 from this angle, it's easy to see how it doesn't stack up. You really don't have to manage resources in this game. Ammo is almost everything. It's true in RE5, but in RE4, they're probably going to fit for you. In RE5, same, consider your partner's inventory as well. RE6 technically does have on inventory, but whenever that came up, I was kind of surprised when not a factor. Quickly resolved by putting these birds together and reloading on them. You fight enemies so often in RE6 that you rarely need to consider your inventory because it's constantly being used up. Keep going and going without much thought. The park mechanic even out the single player of RE6 either, so it doesn't really know the fight.
Let's spark things up. Let's nip that in the bud and shroud.
Instead, they often support fire and survive through. I might prefer it to RE5. Simpler. Like I said last time, I like the player element of RE5, but it has depth.
You're in for a little shock.
I think that mentioned how in this video I talked about the depth reserve and shooting and how I like that. According to the comments, Jeva has an attack mode and cover. I somehow overlooked how it's cover mode for the entire game if ever to prepare or to switch to attack mode. But apparently that's actually making more trouble, so I'm glad I played it the way I did. But as I would say, RE6 doesn't have that in-depth partnership, so it was comparable down to it. Especially when you have to watch the AI character in front of you slowly to solve puzzles. Or just look silly like this part of the Sherry Jake story. I don't find RE6 tense because you're pretty well equipped and mobile against most threats, unless they just start getting in cheap shots like grabbing you from behind. But then checkpoints are pretty common, and the game almost never has things designed to be scary, as it's much more interested in coming up with a variety of set pieces. You don't explore in RE6 because this is a linear hallway action game. Sometimes you have to move between different rooms to find things, then the game will just tell you how to find them with waypoint markers on the screen and a button that tells you which way to go if you couldn't already tell. Sometimes you'll look around and find these skill points you spend on upgrades with captains. However, I thought these upgrades were so overpriced that I buffed my damage defense and my ability to escape grabs, and then that made the game so much easier that I didn't think. I collected as many of these as I could, but finding them just never felt rewarding. If anything, it was almost anticlimactic to open a chest and see these
Come a little
things.
closer.
Then I thought replayability was nice. So that is
Yep.
the concepts you may not like. Replayability can be subjective. Fair, the game does still have ranges for every chapter.
One with the force.
All sections.
Yeah.
So these are a lot of content to play. And there's also co-op and mercenaries and all that, but I found the main story so boring that I can't even fathom wanting to play it again. The biggest issue with RE6 was getting all the other elements that made this series what it was, and putting all its eggs in the action basket that if they drop, you're left with nothing. When I played as Leon and Chris in RE6, I didn't really like it much, but it wasn't until campaign 4 when I just knew I didn't like RE6 at all. It's so long and so boring. The game has so many exclusive sections.
You are not welcome here.
Strike a pose!
And shroud. Come a little closer.
Oh no, I'm gonna...
One with the force. I'll uproot you.
Shower me with praise! Oh, wait, hear me!
You're in for a little shock. Come a little closer.
In theory, yes. In practice,
And shroud.
plays another half of the same quick time event again and again, where they all feel the same. Inside of it, there are almost nothing happens.
Why is there a chest here?
Because the action scenes are so samey, the visual spectacle falls flat and you start getting bored out of your mind. It doesn't help these action scenes overstay their welcome considerably.
Surrender and I'll be gentle.
Yoo-hoo! Let my name echo in song! Yours blessed!
Let's nip that in the bud.
One campaign still looks the same. But then Sherry and Jake run into Leon and Chris often and realize quickly that things are going to get even more with them. In Chris' story, I really didn't like this part we had to avoid giant POWs while trying to destroy anti-aircraft fire. It's overly long and not that engaging. But since Sherry and Jake were here, we have to play the exact same sequence as them, pound for pound, heading through Chris' story. Same thing happens when Leon and Helena find Sherry and Jake being chased by this monster and have to team up to fight it. It's twice. But then Ada crosses past all 6 of the other protagonists, which means we can play any sequences again. Segments that develop mind-numbing the first time won't be on view. And look, I've played a lot of games that feature a ton of action sequences. Third-person action games are my favorite kind of game, after all. But to give examples of why RE6 fails on its own, I want to look at other games. Take the best Uncharted, for example. They'll have explosive action set pieces that wouldn't be out of place in a blockbuster movie. And these sections are rewards and payoff for moments when you explore a city or a temple or solve a puzzle. They're not often complex.
You're in for a little shock.
Strike a pop!
One with the force.
30-minute long phase, relax in a safe village and explore down before ramping things up to the third act. This is just proper pacing. And you also see RE4 and 5. In RE4, you aren't finding these sections. Have slower pace consideration. Get to explore the
Smells
village.
like something good is inside.
And then chapters will end with some massive firefighter or boss. RE6 gives you so much of this stuff in breakneck speed and you don't want it anymore. You've had enough. Now,
Don't be
Hellfire
such a
Pact
brute.
is the longest RE game by a wide margin. Each of the 4 campaigns took me roughly 5 hours to beat, which meant the game was about 20 hours long. I've played games much shorter than that, which I found really boring and tedious, and much longer games that I never get sick of. I don't have a preference for how long a game should or should not be, even if RE has historically been a series that ran on the shorter end of things. What I do have an issue with is how this game is not moving enough
Why
to
not
justify
keep me
the
company
amount
for a
of
while?
time. And you do have
There'll
to
be
play all
plenty
4
of
stories
time
to
for
understand
work
the plot.
later.
One playthrough is not enough to grasp it.
Is it time-based?
You just don't want to play anymore because the game fails to provide substantive content besides endless shootouts and rapid set pieces loaded up with quick time events. It really was the Jake campaign that cemented it. When it's not doing segments you already know from the story, equally original segments are also a chore to play, like wandering through the snow following waypoints to find data sets, getting captured from escape, which is best done by avoiding conflict with enemies, then remaining out of sight with these action-oriented controls and this zoomed-in camera was a nightmare. This campaign is the one that broke me. I found myself searching for 10 keys to get through a door, and then the game would miss a quiet moment, or to get attacked by what felt like infinitely respawning enemies, only for a tank to crack through the door anyway and give chase. Which led to a series of other chases and battles. It's like trying to eat an all-you-can-eat buffet well past the point of being full. It brings the game from what I thought was below average to being shit. So by the end of the Jake story, and throughout the whole 8 campaign, which I did laugh, I was pretty much completely zoning out. Like, I was still playing the game, this is fine.
I hear everything. Can't see?
This is a shame because the 4 campaign thing makes the game more varied. In fact, this was something they wanted to do way earlier in development. Which maybe they wanted each campaign to be a different kind of horror. Leon's campaign might have more of that gothic horror element. Chris's story might feel more like the horrors of war. Jake's story was going to have that feeling of being stalked by a ferocious enemy. And Ada's story being more like classic games. this is kind of something you can see in the final product. I mean, there was a part where...
Dang it, why do I need Pyro so much?
Searchlights. That was a thing that happened. Leon's story opens on a callback to RE2's opening, and then you had to run through a cathedral that kind of reminds you of RE4. Chris's story does revolve around those themes, and Sherry and Jake get chased by this monster that was obviously a callback to Nemesis from Resident Evil 3. But it just doesn't land because somewhere in development the priority got shifted to mindless action that takes up most of the game. This behemoth can't possibly compare to something like Nemesis, because he only ever shows up for big shootouts. Like all the other bosses in this game, I can't even tell them if they got damage or not because they often don't react to attacks, so I just shoot and fight and win. My larger point is just, the intent to make these stories feel distinct was the boss we saw somewhere in development, and the priority shifted towards cramming in as many explosions as they could as they can product for in-game. So visually stimulating that it circles back around to the goal. Though when considering the visuals, the game is top of the line as far as the standards of 2012 are concerned. I played the Steam version, so I played at 4K resolution, 60 frames per second. Not how it ran on the original hardware, but still, the amount of visual variety, effects, lighting, and spectacle of the set pieces are enough for me to say this is a polished, good-looking game with fantastic production values. But artistically, I think this game looks really good, as all the characters are really well designed, and I think these are my favorite Leon designs of all time, as you can clearly tell. But I just don't think this game is fun to play. At that point, the only thing that could carry the game is the story. This is also a Resident Evil game, so that is not the case. All I really like to see in these games is characters I like, or I hate. That's not enough. To go over what I like, I thought Leon's story beginning with the president planning on letting the world know the truth of Raccoon City was kind of interesting. The world knew Umbrella's experiments were why it happened, but the larger story was kept a secret, and Leon's question who's getting out of the idea of how
Quietly now.
Motion to compel.
That was the cool thing is wanting to stop the
Surprise!
Helena also
From
experiments on her sister and friend the outbreak. A villain you definitely love, Kate. Chris becoming depressed after his unit is killed and swap makes sense, as they did a good job making the book likely before his death.
Motion to compel.
Chris loves. But when thinking about it, Chris also being depressed and drunk over all the fighting is inevitable. I mean, he's been fighting Bioterror for like 15 years at this point. Umbrella is dead, Wesker is dead, does to keep fighting day in and day out. But years made for a good counterweight to Chris in this phase of his life.
The bond is strong.
Chris, stay calm.
What she's done to us. How many of our men are dead because of that?
It's all yours.
So the dead is against anyone. You went blind by vengeance. You could have prevented some of those deaths. Shut up. No, I must say, when Chris said he was going to pass the man to Chris in the last level, I could here's the dead man walking from then on. But he did go out in cool fashion and infect himself with the C virus to gain the power to save Chris. Seeing Sherry back as an adult was pretty neat. And it was an interesting choice to team her up with the introduced son of Wesker because their fathers were so tied to all the backstory of the RE games, so their kids being a force for good was a decent plotline. This game also revealing that Sherry has healing factor powers after she got the virus back to Resident Evil 2. Go on that, Sherry idolizing the player role. That all but confirms the new remakes or some new timeline, because the remake Leon didn't even move Sherry until the last 2 seconds of the game, when he and Claire worked together to save her in the original. Then the biggest narrative in RE6 is what they
Gotcha.
So you wouldn't realize that Chris is still in the character Ada's walking around, and then you feel the big one
Incinerate!
But then there isn't some last story mode during all 4 of them. You get something they want to For example, Chris never learned there was a fake Ada. He just sees her die. Oh, she's gone, she's dead.
Quietly now.
He just got a place around the Ada story.
Over here!
In some ways, it feels like the story is much closer to sort of end than it makes any sense. But to be honest, I didn't really care as much about that as the long-ass final bosses. went on for several minutes. That giant lightning rods that would Simmons grab the zombies will be electrocuted, and Chris needed to unload all his ammo on his
That's a lot of people.
QTE
The
for 3
fuck?
rounds, and then Sherry and Jake also needed to do quick time events to kill their monster. Fun fact, when the boss fight ended, I thought to myself, okay, he's either staying dead or he's coming back for one last quick time event, and I was absolutely correct about that one. They can't let the game end, obviously. And the end of Ada's story has been the end of Leon's campaign, just mostly from the helicopter. It was really boring. I had to think for a second about what even happened in Ada Chapter 5, but it was the thing I played the most recently. Because all I was thinking
That's close enough.
Ooh, we can definitely write cue the spotlight. Dissipate.
Game's up. Fun's over. Gotcha.
Out of my way.
Every time I saw it pop up. But then, I stumbled on this article that claimed the Capcom social media rep on Facebook said the game's logo did kind of resemble a giraffe. But the image is dead. I need someone to confirm if that post actually exists. That would be so fun if it was true. But, yeah, we're done here. Time to... It has been a spell since I last played a game like this. Resident Evil 6 is not the worst game I've ever played, and no, it's not even close. It isn't even a title I would think of if I was asked to name some of them. This is a totally playable, very polished game that is also boring. When I played it as Leon and most of my playthrough with Chris, I was willing to say I merely didn't enjoy it, but give it a pass. But as I have said, the more the game went on and on and on, the further it dropped on my shit list. It's a game where I felt nothing while playing it, besides just hoping this next goal set this was the last one of the level before I could move on to the next one and say I was one step closer to completing the game. I just don't think RE6 is fun enough to last 20 hours, and I don't think the game does anything outside of the core combat and set pieces to carry the experience. That is why RE6 is as infamous as it is, so I guess you knew that already. Because people joke for what an RE6 remake might look like, since remakes are all the rage. When thinking about it, ignoring how contemporary the game still feels, I don't really see how you can even remake this game by just the game. I think this game's issues aren't with execution of the mechanics, I just think all of that is buried in the core of the project. A misguided project that tried too hard to do too many things and just fell flat. And it really ruined the experience by going on for the journey. It's just a game that's barely like an RE game. But Capcom seemingly learned something.
Let's appraise the value on this.
In hindsight, I think RE6's history contains some things that were odd at the time that you could see were a sign of things to come for AAA games. Capcom projected a really high sales estimate for this game, but they lowered it for the next review scandal. The game sold almost 5 million copies before 2012 was even over, and to this day,
Take it easy.
Resident Evil 6 on the PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 is one of the highest-selling Capcom games ever made, yet it didn't bring in the profit hoped for. Something similar happened in Tomb Raider 2013, and now there seems to be a thing that happens pretty regularly where a big game will come out and the headlines will read about how amazing the sales are, breaking all the records, but staff will sort of laid off because it costs too much to make. Something that was really starting to become a thing in the early 2010s, and it's definitely an issue.
Tears of the Kingdom.
Resident Evil. Capcom thought this was what Resident Evil 6 had to be, because slower-paced survival horror game apparently didn't have that big of an audience anymore. But then, about 8 months later, The Last of Us was released on PS Brave Room, I say it. Now, I'm not saying survival horror is that new genre, but survival horror is also one of the most vague and hard-to-define genres ever. The point is, that game got people really invested in a third-person shooter game where you do take it slow and explore and encounter tense situations with limited resources. It wasn't those ideas that were out of style or anything. So maybe that, and the fact that RE6 wasn't the guaranteed success that Capcom thought it was going to be by chasing the military shooter audience, perhaps gave them pause for thought. Then the remasters of the RE1 remake and RE0 in 2015 sold pretty damn well, better than those games even did when they originally came out in 2002. All factors that I think led to Resident Evil 7 in 2017 finally went back to the series' roots with a positive reception and massive sales. It cemented that Resident Evil 6 was a project that was fundamentally flawed from the very beginning. I actually have played
chest full
RE7,
of valuables
but I'm not going to
and a
step back. I'm
trove of
going to stay in
potential
them for a few
clues.
months now alongside the Revelations games. But this is not the last RE video for the month. I realized that Resident Evil 4 Remake turns a year old this month, and I figured the last RE video of the month would be 1 year later on this game, seeing how I feel about it with all the hype. Which, yes, means I'm doing another video on Resident Evil 4, as if I haven't done enough of them already. But until that time comes, I'll say what I already made this far in the video. I thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time.
Oh, that makes much more sense.
Treasure. One way to draw your target out of hiding.
which used cartridges to play the legendary games like Super Mario World or Super Metroid or The Legend of Zelda in the past. The new console was to be called the SNES-CD or alternatively, the PlayStation. Yes, you heard me right. However, Nintendo and Sony could be on a price split.
Ad Astra
One
Abyssosque.
day after Sony went live with showing off
Thank you for
publicly the Nintendo PlayStation at the Consumer Electronics Show in 1991, Nintendo surprised Sony by publicly announcing that they were dropping their agreement with Sony regarding developing the PlayStation and instead elected to go with Philips directly. However, after watching Sega release a similar project called the Sega CD console and seeing that bomb in sales, Nintendo lost heart on the project from CDI entirely and dissolved the agreement with Philips as well. The fact that they toyed with both Sony and Philips and pulled out of both deals carried a very heavy toll for Nintendo, though, on both fronts. In Sony's case, the president got real mad and demanded that they create the game console anyway to specifically rival Nintendo. And get this, since Nintendo's trademark the PlayStation, their new console, they say one word, to spite Nintendo. And, we see how that turned out.
Time to shine! Barbados, guide us.
I'll uproot you!
Their trademark
And Shroud.
characters, however,
Let's spark things up a little. Come a little
Zelda
closer.
and thus the Philips CDI some games were made. Granted, not by Nintendo themselves, but with officially licensed Nintendo characters nonetheless. Heavily inspired by the first, second, and third Zelda games as well as the Legend of Zelda TV show. Philips contracted the creation of the first two games out to a Russian company called Animation Magic, whose specialty was animation. Ironic. Now, this will not be a review for covering these infamous games filled with my jokes and my hot takes. I mean, there have already been so many amazing videos out there doing just that. It will instead be a story recap for all you lore and story fans out there. But regarding how the games feel to play, I will summarize the overall feeling towards them with one quote from the legendary peanut butter gamer himself.
The first thing you will realize when you turn on the faces of evil is that you make some pretty poor life choices.
Well said, Peeps. Well said. Now that we're done with the history lesson, let's talk about what actually happens in these games, one by one. And you'll probably want to stick around to the end, because after we're done, we're going to figure out where they fit in on the timeline. And we'll create what will be official fan canon, as approved by me. And
Good
the
for
clear
going
hero
out.
of what is considered fanon across gaming as a whole. The first CDI Zelda game
Did
is
I
called
say that yesterday as well?
takes place in Hyrule, at the expedition. The game opens to a wonderfully animated cutscene where Link apparently is in the castle with King Arcadian of Hyrule and his daughter, and subsequently Link's crush, Princess Zelda. The first thing Link says is that he's bored.
Gee, sure is boring around here.
Just in general. The king scolds him for craving times of not peace, which is typically a bad thing, which then prompts Link to wonder aloud about
Ad
what
Astra.
Ganon's up to these days. And lo and behold, at that very moment, a wild wizard appears named Guanum, flies in on a magic carpet, and says straight up that Ganon and his minions have seized the land of Korodai for an unknown. The king offers to help, but Guanum states quite clearly that Link is the only one who can defeat Ganon according to prophecy.
It is written, only Link can defeat Ganon.
Well, That was pretty clear. This being music to Link's ears, obviously, he immediately agrees to help out, taking only his sword as equipment and asks Zelda for a kiss,
So that,
which she says.
can I still beat the Abyss?
One of them says,
Question, the more important question to ask first would be, are floor 11 and 12 any different?
And upon arriving, Link looks down and sees a bunch of giant heads all over the place. One of them explains to Link that these aren't the Easter Island.
Alright,
heads,
I
they are
definitely
in fact
can't
the
make
faces
use of that.
people. And each of them are run by one of Ganon's goons.
Oh boy, it's different.
In control of his own face of evil. One of them tells Link that he must conquer each one, and that's exactly what he does. Cue the events of the game. At the same time,
Coppelius.
Speed up all the baddies. Ganon uses the absence of a hero in Hyrule to approach Zelda in her sleep.
It's a time challenge. Oh my god.
Where the hero of Hyrule is. You know, the guy who...
Also, constructs.
Anyway, as Link is now tasked with battle...
Everyone here just destroys constructs.
Princess Zelda, he proceeds
Why?
to each of the minions in control of these spaces, one by one. First, Goranu, the Necromancer, who creates the Stalfos enemies and even disguises himself as Princess Zelda in order to trick Link. Then the pig man named Harlequin runs a casino and transforms any all their money to him into monsters, and deflates like a balloon after being defeated. Then Militron, the large, very blue armored knight who forcefully transforms Caridians into Armos enemies, and who's actually a fat, cowardly old man underneath the armor who says, "Oh my goodness, this is awful. Oh my goodness, this is awful." Then the huge green Cyclops called Glutko, who eats Caridians alive on camera. Just eats them. That Link literally blows up with a bomb. And finally, the werewolf-like humanoid thing known as Lupe transforms Caridians into bug-like moblins and is defeated by Link, reflecting their own energy being back at them. Now, after Link had defeated Glutko, he obtained the legendary Korodai book called the Book of Korodai, that can only be read when given to the reader a poem, who reveals by reading the book that Ganon can only be defeated with the book, which places the Book of Korodai on the same tier of power as other famous relics such as the Master Sword or the Light Arrows. After this, Link finds Blanum's residence, and as a reward is given the Lantern of Vision in order to see and kill or avoid the flying monsters known as Sand Mummies that prevent Link from entering Ganon's lair. After this, Link enters the final face of evil and confronts Ganon, who initially offers to make Link his own.
I need a healer. Well, not really, actually.
By Link throwing the book at him, literally, which traps Ganon within its pages, literally. Link then finds Zelda, smacks a Ganon, he saves her, which of course she doesn't believe, and then gets flown back to Hyrule by Guanum on his magic flying carpet. Guanum proclaims that Ganon is once again sealed away, and Link is indeed the true hero of Korodai. And Link asks him to
Let the world collide!
But this doesn't keep him down, because Link then says, "I won!" And the game ends. The end. The next game, Zelda, the Wand of Gamelon, takes place right after the events of Link, the Faces.
What?
Or maybe it takes place before. It's not been clear since the games released at the same time and have very little to do with each other. The story of Wand of Gamelon is a bit more involved, though. We can assume it takes place after the Faces of Evil, since Link was apparently bored at the beginning of that game. Anyway, the game opens up with the familiar setting of Zelda, Link, and King Arcadian again talking to
Let my name echo in song!
Try not to enjoy it.
I see everything! Share my knowledge!
Under attack by the forces
I swear by my sword!
Come a little closer. You're in for a little shock. You've been a naughty boy.
You should just send Link to hell back. There's also characters. Sure, Zelda
The Temple of Wisdom!
Surrender and I'll be gentle.
I maybe should have swapped places, but we'll see. Why the heck is Xingqiu fully naked? Whatever, I'm too lazy to change it right now.
Ring cutter! No, my sword!
Well, this team is pretty Circle Impact too anyhow.
Emerge! I'm always watching. Right now, right here. Emerge. Scatter!
Triforce appeared. So now Zelda steps up to breathing Gamelon instead.
Let me read you a verse. Rain outlines your...
Such as Give
Germinate! Propagate! Right now. Right here.
Is defeated when she throws a blanket over her. She then faces Iron Knuckles, who has enslaved the only residents of the island town called Sakato, and defeats him using the Power Glove. After this, she faces a trio of witches, known as the Three Witches, who froze the fairy pool, and its subsequent fairies and covered the forest in darkness, who are defeated pretty easily by Zelda's sword, creating a very
Strike a
light.
pose!
You're ready for a little
Next,
shock.
she faces a windmill, a
Will,
strap
hear me!
Noma, and similarly to the
Come a little closer.
Zelda looks like way on the screen. She explains to Zelda that she actually
I see everything!
changed her kiss. And next for clarification,
Time to shine!
this space change is to elaborate.
Everyone hold hands! Make yourselves
After
at
this,
home!
Zelda travels to all Flint's castle called Yellow Crate.
Another test subject.
And faces another powerful wizard named Hecton, who imprisoned the man known as Lord Hero, who tried to stop Ganon from capturing his father. Hecton
Cannot give up!
Let's spark things up a little. Barbados!
Committed to memory!
Lord Hero then tells Zelda the secret to entering Unclid's locked chamber in order to confront him regarding
The wrong test subject.
Unclid towers at the terrifying sight of a blood. Princess Zelda
Witness the power of the rock.
her father on
No, my sword!
Zombie Palace. However, before Zelda can
Spring forth!
force the
Right now, emerge! Right here! A sight to behold! Emerge! Right here! Right now!
It also gives her the barrier that will penetrate magical darkness around her, allowing Zelda to see her. However, the mythical wand
Rain outlines your
Zelda
fate!
has to retreat
Rain
into
cutter!
the Shrine of Gamelon, which is guarded by the
Emerge.
most powerful ability
Right here.
so far, a shape-shifter known as All-Back. When it explodes, the legendary
Batter.
powerful Gamelon
Emerge. Right here.
Zelda finishes picks out the house and runs near it by shining the fairy light on
Witness the power of the rock! No, my sword!
places Ganon in chains, and then inside a book. Probably the Book of Corodine, since it pops up out of nowhere and it's the literal same animation from the Faces of Evil, which also gives credence to the theory that it takes place after Faces of Evil. Zelda's then able to her father, and Lord Kiro brings the traitor Duke Unclid before the king for punishment, which the king decides is to have him scrub all the floors in Hyrule. It's either a really easy punishment or a really difficult one. At this point, Zelda remembers that Link exists and
Shower me with praise! I see everything! Share my knowledge!
Link states that Link wasn't born. Caught up.
Come a little closer.
This apparently annoys Zelda, and she smashes Link on his
Blitz.
throws it away, smashing it against the wall, shattering her, and subsequently releases Link back into the world. Has no
Surrender and be gentle.
or how he got there. This is
God damn it.
Strike a pose! Let the world collide!
Why does everyone hate Lisa's violet circle
The Temple of Wisdom!
thing?
first apes. After this, the king and Zelda share a temple
Come a little closer.
The end. Now, the final Philips CDI Zelda game called Zelda's Adventure was developed and funded down to be
Rain outlines your fate! Rain cutter!
As such,
Right
it has
now.
a drastically different
Right here. Spring forth! Don't be scared! Nothing lasts forever. Right now. Right here.
It also makes the first game look like masterpieces.
Don't get it, Uruguay!
Anyway, it takes place
Time to know my sword!
Tomonak, and it's mentioned of Hyrule along
Right now.
which means it's also unclear whether or not it takes place before them, but we can assume after since it was the third and final release. Regardless, it opens up with a cutscene on a new character, Hyrule's court astronomer named Gaspra, who is said to be very wise. Gaspra receives a letter from a woman of Tolamak named Shermak, telling him that Ganon has stolen the 7 celestial signs of Termak and plunged the land into an age of darkness. Oh, and also he captured them. So Gaspra, being old and wise, decides to call upon a brave adventurer hero person to reclaim the 7 celestial signs of Termek and rescue the land from the Age of Darkness. Oh, and also rescue Link. Naturally, he summons Zelda by way of his magical crystal, which he uses to send Zelda to and fro within the land of Termek. I'm not kidding, you even see him talking to Zelda as her POV inside his tower, and then witness him fling her towards the final destination at the end of the game. This actually looks kind of familiar. Anyway, long story short, Zelda, under the guidance of Gaspra and Shermak, explores the land of Tolamak and meets many people along the way, and also enters the 7 elemental shrines and defeats the 7 evil Ganon minions known as the Shrine Keepers, who are each guarding a celestial sign. And they are Lort, Cascade, Aviana, Malmord, Aguanda, Ursary, and Warbane. Each time recovering one of the celestial signs and returning to Gaspar's tower to be sent to the next area. However, just before she recovers the 7th and final celestial sign, a wild hand shadow appears, preventing her from doing so, and it's hand shadow. After this, Gaspar urges her to track down and defeat Ganon and sends her careening down an opening at the Vision Head, which is the initial starting point of the game and the proper resting place of the celestial signs. Within this crack that she descended into, she once again faces each Shrine Keeper and must defeat them all back to back, before finally encountering Ganon himself, who looks like he got a makeover and hit the gym a few times since the last time we saw him. Once he's defeated, he spins so fast that he turns into a tornado and breaks apart, piece by piece, after which the land of Tolamak is restored, and Link is rescued, and we see him for like 2 seconds, and both Hyrule and Tolamak enter the Age of Lightness. Gaspar then speaks to Zelda one last time, telepathically, and urges her to be kind. The end. Do you need a second? Because you can take a second. I understand. Trust me, I have to script this stuff. Anyway, now that we've gone over the entire story of each and every amazing Zelda CDI game, and presumably we're all still alive, and if you survived, you're clearly better off now that you know all this stuff. Cherry on the top.
All eyes on me! Witness the power of Gua!
As you know, this whole segment is quickly for free after the events of
I see everything! Make yourself at home! Gilglade, you're up!
Actually, I'm going to assume that it takes like a count of time.
Oh no! Positions!
You can also see many similarities and influences from the original 3 games as well, such as Link's hero tunic and appearance of classic enemies such as moblins or Gorrios. And obviously, appearance again, who was
Don't be scared! Get with me! Lightning! Here comes the catch! Busted! Beg for mercy! Freeze to the core! Crush!
Now let's recall what one of the first things Link says to face the
Our bond is strong!
But also that he's bored means that he has fought and banished Ganon before, also proven by Quantum's words at the end of the Faces of Evil.
Well done, Link. Ganon is once again imprisoned.
And as such, Link is now welcome in Hyrule Castle as the hero of Hyrule, a setup that's also extremely similar to the setup of the Legend of Zelda's show, with it being the same Link that has clearly faced Ganon before.
This dance is for you! Let me weave you a verse. Know my sword! Rain outline. Everyone go dance! The Temple of Wisdom!
Away from that. So I believe the first 2 Zelda games take place right after Zelda 2, The Adventure of Link. Because after all, that was the game that Link discovered that he tried to take possession of or the Ganon.
Dance with the waves!
Witness
the power of Gua! Don't be scared! Hey! Share my knowledge! I see everything! Your positions!
Either takes place after those 2 immediately, or is even further distanced by an unknown amount of time, and is therefore another incarnation of both Link and Zelda.
Shut up! Oh, learn to command, not now! Game's up! Fun's over. Gotcha! Crush! Blood of Frost! Beg for mercy!
Subscribe if you haven't already. Much more needed more, and some of which actually even
I condemn you.
It's always a fun day.
The night is cold. Stars.
And that's all I've got on this one. Follow me on my socials.
Talk right there. Out of my way. Crush. Shudder.
Your journey ends here,
No, my
Lord
sword.
of Sand. Your sacrifice is
Rain
ready.
Hey,
Let's end this now.
make yourselves a move.
Patience. Yes, again.
Don't be scared. Make it up. Here comes the catch. Crush. Freeze to the core. Shudder. Eye for an eye. Cold. Learn to command. The night is cold. Busted.
Things are about to get dicey.
I'll settle this. Crush. Beg for mercy. Yeah.
Geo damage bonus, hey? Oh god, consecrated beasts. Alright, we got Pyro and Dendro. That's a terrible combination if I've ever seen one.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Bones 5 YouTube channel on YouTube. Recently, I've taken it upon myself to completely
Super send-up. Break a leg. And
play
step.
this game over and over again.
Alright, kids. Everybody stand back. Watch out.
While the challenge and every single boss in this game, every series of videos, I'll break down the
Nice and spicy. Let's light it up. Fire. Well, I'm going in. You're toast. Here's your grand finale. Watch out. Coming at at ya!
However, it is far easier to understand a
Strikes out! Observe!
games compared to a much larger scale.
Teamwork is dreamwork!
Information in this guide can extend the concept
Strike is one! Unleash!
spots anything from feel free to put it in the comments. Also, I won't be covering any difficulties in this series. For a separate video, I can go through all of them, but at the moment, I only plan on covering bosses. With that out of the way, let's get into what most players would consider the first boss of Cuphead. Boss on first list, their hell and face.
Gotcha. Game's up. Come Silver. Quietly now.
Yeah! Skyward! Seize the skies!
Now, some things Cuphead are what I like to call sweet. No matter how many times you play this phase, the boss will always do the exact same kind of one.
Higher, hands on fire!
Like the Chicken Little face.
I see everything.
And the final
The
phase
Temple of Wisdom!
The potato is one of these scripted
Gotcha.
encounters.
Things are about to get dicey.
Skyward!
Variable projectile
Got him! Strike clouds converge!
First 5 seconds of hitbox being active, you will retreat back into the ground and the fight will skip straight to the carrot phase with the additional obstacle of the radish plant. You can actually damage the onion a bit before you retreat into the ground to get a bit of damage into the next phase. However, it's important to not damage him too early if you're trying to get to the secret phase. To know when to damage the onion, wait until he looks around from side to side 4 times total. On his 5th time, he should be putting
Alright, these guys are all ranged. I can't group them. Fun.
Then he will cry again and drop either 8 or 9 tears. Out of these 8 or 9 tears, some
You're toast! Nice and sweet! Strike is one! Coming at ya!
Variable tears can only spawn on 4, 5, 8, and 9.
Unleash!
3 tiers will all be only tier power 1. If a variable tier
Everybody stand back! Attack!
tiers plus spawn,
Coming at ya!
possibility of one of 8 tiers versus
Unleash!
1 tier variable,
Feeling
tiers 8 or
lucky?
9 variable.
Wow, I'm great.
The 5th tier variable, then only tier 9 variable, though the chance of tier 9 spawning is guaranteed. I probably went way too soon to do that for no reason. But that's because the rest of this fight is pretty boring. After defeating the onion or entering the secret phase, you are faced with the last phase of this boss, the carrot. Carrot is also constructed in time. You all
Game's up.
start by
Come Silver.
Oh, you can fight them one at a time. That's even better.
Make way for the... Share my knowledge!
choose to
Grow, grow, grow!
there will actually be no difference in the so ultimately, total HP
Jaw's over!
for the secret phase, it's 1065, and I will know now that I've covered this entire guide.
Here comes the catch. Inconsequential.
But for now, we're just going to crush something boss in Aquile 1. Simplest AI. Throughout the fight, the enemy has 2 attacks. Jumping around the arena.
Seize the skies!
Committed
to memory, the Temple of Wisdom.
Gotcha. Things are about to get dicey.
He has achievements of
Higher, hands on fire! Grow!
Busted.
In phase 2's AI is much the same, jumping in 5 to 8 times before winding up.
Got her! Skyward!
Times and going through time directly after transforming and then returning his finite normal patterns. Similar to the first phase, he also has a slight variation he can do in his jump height, either doing a high jump or a small jump. After reaching the damage threshold for phase 2, Goopy will be replaced by the Gravestone himself. This Gravestone
Those were all just warm-ups.
Previous phases. After dropping from the sky, slide either left or right.
Teamwork is
Side to
dreamwork!
side with him. Once Goopy has hit both edges of the screen at least
Your
once,
grand
he will not
finale
punch
and
him
step!
attack
Adventure time!
So yes,
Everybody
it's
stand back!
massive damage here. And I think this is
Strike aloud! And step! Watch out!
as really has the absolute best
Coming at ya!
Unlike most other games, when a boss is transitioning between phases of combat, you can actually still damage the boss, with the damage that you deal carrying over into the next phase. This becomes really important in later bosses.
I see everything!
Point out that any damage you deal during the
Gotcha!
boss.
Busted! Here comes the catch!
Some of the boss damage
This may take a little. Share my knowledge!
well, this boss actually has a
Forward!
phase. One exception.
Strike Cloud converge!
What the first phase of this boss? Maybe you broke that unique out of one of the few bosses that has two bosses like
God's over!
that can do insane damage in this first
Everyone
phase.
prepared?
For example, the Roundabout EX, which we normally
Gotcha. Take it easy. Busted. Things are about to get dicey.
40 every single time. As for their attacks in the first phase,
Seize the skies!
and each of their attacks will have some randomness to it. Let's start with Croak's spitting attack. In its attack, Croaks will spawn 4 sets of fly enemies that will slowly close in on the player. The only variation of this attack is how many flies Croaks can spawn. He can spit either 3 to 4 times.
Here it
When he
comes.
spit, he will usually spawn 2 flies. However, there's a chance that on one of the 4 spits, he'll only spawn 1 fly. This cannot happen on the first spit, and it cannot happen more than once in one attack. For Ruby's attack in the first phase, he will shoot 6 projectiles at the player in the same pattern every single time. The only variation is when his parryable projectile will spawn. It will first randomly spawn in one of the first 3 projectiles. Then it will always spawn after 2 more punches. For example, if he throws a parryable punch on punch 1, then punch 4 will be parryable. Once you've reached the damage threshold for phase 1, Ruby will roll to the other side of the screen and begin phase 2. In phase 2, Croaks will turn into a propeller and attempt to push the player into Ruby. Croaks is completely scripted in this phase. He simply does his propeller attack for about 10 seconds, waits about a second, and then does his propeller attack again. Ruby only has 2 variations in his attacks. Every time he claps, a projectile will spawn that bounces up and down towards the player. It is completely random which direction the first projectile will bounce in, but the next projectile will always bounce in the opposite direction, making up, and down, down his only possible patterns. Once you reach the damage threshold for this phase, Croaks will straight up eat Ruby and turn into a big slot machine. You may think that this really long animation will be a perfect time to get some extra damage in the next phase. But, like I said earlier, this is actually the only time that damage is carried over between phases. Ruby and Croaks' health will always stay at 577 until the first slot machine transformation. I don't know why only this boss has this feature implemented, but it's probably because of the ridiculous amount of damage that you can deal during this transition. Moving on to phase 3, there are 3 different attacks that this slot machine can do. These are triggered by parrying the glove on the handle. You can get any of these 3 attacks at any time, and you can even get 2 in a row. These attacks are
I think it might be best to put Fu Tao on first half.
Scripted and just involve jumping at the right time. But bulls will shoot fire pillars that you'll either have to run or jump over. This pattern is completely random with the condition that no more than 3 pillars can spawn in the same direction. For everything Croaks down, our next boss in Inkwell Isle 1 is our first fight boss, Hildeberg.
I guess I can try my beloved Hyper Bloom.
Hildeberg has a lot of shit going on. This boss has 6 different phases per fight with 7 total phases possible. Before we talk about Hildeberg herself, I want to first go over the constant threat with these toy Zeppelins. These are going to obtain parries in this fight, and their type and parry spawn rates are scripted, but change depending on the phase. Within the first phase, the toy Zeppelins will
I'll just try Navi again for now.
a purple Zeppelin shooting a normal shot, a purple Zeppelin shooting a parryable shot, and then a green Zeppelin which shoots a multi-shot. For all the 3 constellation phases, the Zeppelins will share the same pattern. There will be 3 purple toy Zeppelins with the last one shooting a parryable shot. Between these constellation phases, there are 2 intermission phases. These are the phases where you fight Hildeberg normally without any transformations. For ease of understanding, while talking about this boss, I'm going to refer to the very first phase, Intermission 0, then the next 2 intermissions of Intermission 1 and Intermission 2. Both of these intermission phases have complicated patterns.
Pretty sure they'll come. Just calling it right now, they're gonna come in waves of 2.
These patterns can start at any point in the cycle.
Or not.
Quiet now. Here comes the catch. Gotcha. In the last phase, Hilda turns into a moon, and the Zeppelins will be replaced with shooting stars. These are also scripted, with every 17th star.
Game's up. Fun's over. Busted. Strike cloud converge.
Higher, higher, can't but fire!
Quietly now.
Unlike Goofy's third phase,
Skyward! Make way for the... Here comes the catch.
Time to shine! Yoo-hoo!
Quietly now. Things are about to get dicey.
Lightning, echoing song! Strike a pop!
My magic begins. Got him! Did I scare you?
Once you reach the damage threshold for intermission 1, Hildenberg will randomly choose to either transform into Gemini or Sagittarius. I'll start with Gemini because they have more complex mechanics. Every 10 seconds, Gemini will cast a ball of light they're holding in the center of the screen. This ball acts as a projectile on its own, but it also shoots a beam of light that goes in a circle around the screen. When the ball of light first spawns in, the game will randomly decide whether it starts shooting up or down. The beam can only support on the y-axis, so camping horizontally next to the ball of light will give you a good amount of time to react. Once the game has decided on what direction the beam will first shoot from, it will then rotate in whatever direction the player is located in. Then, the projectile will disappear after making a full revolution. Sagittarius is much simpler than Gemini, though debatably more difficult. This phase is entirely scripted. Sagittarius will shoot an arrow every 4 seconds that is accompanied by 3 homing stars. Intermission 2 is pretty similar to Intermission 1, except the tornado attack will appear more frequently. Instead of Hilda laughing 2 to 3 times before spawning a tornado, she will only laugh 1 to 2 times. Finally, for Hildenberg's last phase, she turns into a giant crescent moon and will spawn UFOs from inside her head. These UFOs come in 2 types, brown and red. Brown UFOs will automatically activate at the same time, and red UFOs are activated once the player moves under them. There doesn't seem to be a set pattern to these UFO spawns. However, you cannot get more than 2 of the same type of UFO in a row. One more note about Hildenberg. When fighting this boss, you may notice that you can jump on it.
Hey! Get yourself a move!
Witness the power of Gua. Rain outlines your fate.
Don't be scared!
Emerge. Right now. Right here. A sight to behold. Right now. Emerge. Right now.
I see everything! Surely knowledge!
Rain cutter. No, my sword. Emerge. Right now.
Stay put! Everyone hold hands! Make yourself a home!
That's quite enough.
Yeah, Nico isn't strong enough.
Only perform certain attacks within certain subphases.
Okay, maybe Navia is the best choice here. Otherwise, I'm gonna try Cookie Hyper Bloom.
In subphase 2, he can only do his magic hand attack and lunge attack. He will also always alternate between the two. And in subphase 3, he will alternate between this magic hand attack and Gatling gun attack. Now that we know when he uses attacks, how these attacks individually work. The lunge attack is the simplest of the 3 and can only be done during subphase 1 and 2. Tiny will simply choose to lunge beneath the platform or above them and random. Can lunge in the same direction twice in a row, though it seems to be less common. The magic hand attack is next and can only be done during subphase 2 and 3. Cagney will randomly choose to shoot either 2 or 3 sets of projectiles. Then, within those 2 or 3 sets, choose to either shoot boomerangs or 3 homing projectiles. It is possible to get a set of 2 with the same projectile, but it is not possible to get 3 of the same projectile. It's also worth noting that you can crouch on the attack. The gun attack is by far Cagney's most complicated attack in phase 1. It can only appear in subphases 1 and 3 and consists of Cagney shooting out 5 seeds from his head.
Let's light it up! Teamwork is... Attack! Hey there! You're toast! At the right hand, your grand finale!
Alright, I do need something to deal with the Pyro Abyss Mage first.
What kind of pattern Tiny is going to throw at us? The location of the normal seeds in the arena is almost completely random, but the variable seed will always appear in the exact place every single time. And while the location may be random, the order and type of the seeds is not. So, based on my testing, I was able to find that these are the order in which the seeds will fall depending on what variable seed it is. Now on to phase 2. In this phase, Kyrie will thrust his arms into the ground, restricting the player's movement to just the 3 platforms in the arena. He has 2 attacks in this phase, spitting out spores and creating vine spikes on any of the 3 platforms. There doesn't seem to be any pattern to the order that Kyrie spits out spores, but there's only 4 combinations he can do in one attack. He can either spit out 1 normal spore, 1 parryable spore, a normal spore, then a parryable spore, or a parryable spore, then a normal spore. As for the vines, I tried looking for a pattern in them. The pattern is either so long that it seems random, but the vines are just genuinely random. If anyone knows the specifics of the vines in this fight, I'd love to hear about it in the comments, but after tracking about 100 different vine attacks, I could not find a certain pattern. One more tip for Kagey's last phase: if you stand on a very direct platform with the damage, you'll always dodge any of the spores that Kagey shoots, but this only works on that specific platform. And that covers all of the AI for all the bosses in Equal Isle 1. I figured that I would make this video because of how much I've been playing Cuphead live recently. If you enjoyed this video and would like to see any ad breakdowns or any future bosses, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps the channel out. That said, thank you for watching. Peace.
That leads to love, to the paradise. Stars on your face.
Hey!
pourquoi? Rain outlines your fate. Dissipate! Out of my way! Kamisato art! Sometsu! Take flight!
Make yourselves at home.
Let me weave you a verse. Rain outlines your fate.
My apologies. Time for a swirl.
Take flight! Rain cutter!
Grow! Temple of Wisdom.
I'll settle this.
My apologies.
Rain outlines your fate.
Our bond is strong.
I've been waiting.
I see everything. Please hold for just a moment. Share my knowledge.
Witness the power of Gugwa.
Did I scare you?
Embrace the ice.
Must go on.
Scout. Whirling snow.
Let my
Out of my
magic
way.
begin.
Apologies.
Time to... Rain cutter.
Scout. Please release. How
Heard of
the
me.
banquet is nearing. Make yourselves at home.
A gift for you. A grand surprise.
Rain outlines your fate. Take flight. Kamisato art.
Did I scare
Sometsu.
you?
Dissipate must... Apologies.
Let my magic begin.
My apologies.
How have you considered of me?
I see
Savor the
everything.
show.
The Temple of Wisdom.
Let me weave you a verse. Know my sword. Rain outlines your...
My bond is strong.
Did I scare you?
Please hold for just a moment. Embrace the ice. Apologies. In the end. Time to shine.
Busted. Game's up. Fun's over.
Skyward.
Stray clouds converge.
Quit it. God's over.
Gotcha. Quietly now. Things are about to get dicey.
Skyward. Scatter.
Make way for the...
Let the world collide.
She's right, poetry and narrative of the century. She found a sad above.
I don't like Ayaka in this team.
Like an autumn tree. Ladies, hey, you are gorgeous and lovely. We have been told before. Something made her more. Just love a little. Sad. Show what's so impressive. We found out about. Of course, darlings, my eyes never lie. Oh, that's the first time Jack someone the other eyes on that directed seem so weak. She said that we are strong and pretty, but we ladies for sure. We had no choice but to tell everything with her.
It's nearly time. Rain cutting! Rain outlines your...
Share my knowledge. I'll settle this. Dissipate. Hey. I see everything. Yeah, the Temple of Wisdom.
Our bond is strong! Witness the power of Gugwa!
This may hurt a little.
Dissipate! Not good!
Make yourselves at home. Don't be scared.
Lightning's terrified! Rain outlines your fate! Rain cutter!
This may hurt a little.
Stand with me!
Stay put. Grow, grow, grow.
You need it last. Please appreciate my sincerity.
Take the Temple of Wisdom. Ready, go!
Enjoy. I'll settle this. No, my sword! Pardon me. Witness the power of...
Did I scare you? Make yourselves at home.
On your feet.
I'm must go on.
Ladies and gentlemen, what I'm about to say would keep it alive for the show. So we win. Shut your mouth!
What if I swap? Shall find the ones who lie true. You shall pay the ones who lie to you.
Here are the rules. We are the rules. In these rules, you will hear all sorts of winning. From all sorts of puppets and fluff.
Strike a pose! Let my name echo in spirit!
Buster, game's up. Fun's over. Gotcha. Strike Cloud converge.
Higher, chance on fire!
Quietly now. Things are about to get dicey. Gotcha.
Shower me with praise! Let the world come alive!
Skyward! Scatter! Seize the skies!
Time to go!
Banquet must go on. Busted. Here comes the catch. Gotcha.
Shall pay the ones who lie to you.
Oh, skyward!
Shall pay the ones who lie to you.
Please remain seated.
Busted. Game's up. Fun's over. Quietly now.
Strike a pose! Let the world come alive!
Strike Cloud converge.
Well, ass.
Scatter! Banquet must go on. Apologies. Gotcha. Things are about to get dicey. The Pangato's here in skyward!
Let my name echo in song!
Ready! Next wave with
Bro, they teleport so fucking much.
Gotcha.
Shower me with praise!
Skyward! Quietly now. Time to act.
I don't have enough time for this.
Let me weave you a bit. Know my soul.
Committed to memory, the Temple of Wisdom! Don't be scared! Out of my way! Dissipate! This may turn a little. Committed to memory! Sharing my knowledge!
Our bond is strong.
Stay put!
Rain outlines your fate. Witness the power of Fuwa.
Don't get in your way! This may turn a little. Make yourselves at home! Yeah! Committed to memory!
Dissipate.
I'll settle this! Don't be scared! Grow! Ah! This was unwise! I don't
That. I just need to beat this in 2 minutes or less.
Strike a pose! Let the world come on!
Gotcha. Game's up. Fun's over. Busted. Yeah. Scatter. Skyward. Stray cloud convert.
Time to go!
Quiet now. These are about to get dicey.
Shower me with praise! Let my name echo in...
Busted. Game's up. Fun's over. For you.
Time to shine!
Run. Scatter. Skyward. Stray cloud converge.
Job's over!
Quietly now. Let my magic begin.
Strike a pose! Let my name echo in...
Skyward.
Consider it. Please remain having fun. Witness the law.
Enjoy.
I don't remember.
Make way for the... Busted. These are about to get Seize the stars. Game's up. Fun's over.
Time to shine!
Yeah. Skyward. Make way for the... magic begin. Things are about to get dicey. Yeah! Scatter! Please, skyward! Straight cloud converge!
Let my name be so in song!
For you! A grand surprise! Quietly now. Busted. Game's up. Fun's over. Scatter!
Time to shine!
Seize the skies!
No, my sword! Raincoat! Rain outlines your fate! Grow, grow, grow! The Temple of Wisdom! Out of my way! Stand with me! Your way! You're up! Minute to memory! Grow, grow, grow! Know my sword! Rain outlines your fate! Witness the power of good! Dissipate! Stay put!
あなたと夜の果て
Stand with me! You, Glade! You're lightning terrified! Know my sword! Rain cutter! Make yourselves a room! Grow, grow, grow! Our bond is strong! This way! Stay put!
Alright, I guess Hyper Bloom isn't enough. But like, using Pyro gives the Jade Plume Terrace Room resistance. Or is that correct? I guess it's worth trying out. It'll be a lot less frantic, that's for sure, at least.
Here comes the catch. Gotcha. Scatter! Stray cloud converge!
Higher, higher, hands on fire!
Busted. Things are about to get dicey. Gotcha.
Let my name echo in song!
Yeah! Scatter! Skyward! Seize the skies!
My sincerity. For the banquet is nearing its end.
Busted. Here comes the catch.
A grand surprise. Let the world collide!
Yeah! Skyward! Let my magic converge!
Cross over!
Game's up. Fun's over. Gotcha.
Let's strike a pose! Time to shine!
Yeah! Skyward! Savor the show. Make way for the...
Having fun?
Enjoy.
Win it! The banquet is nearing!
Here comes the catch. Busted.
Shower me with praise!
Let my magic begin.
Is it my time?
Well, damn it. Well, damn it.
Watch out! Attack! Everybody stand back!
At least now I can take my time here.
Strike a pose! Let the world collide!
Quietly now. Things are about to get dicey. Scatter! Skyward! Seize the skies! Quietly now. Here comes the catch.
Shower me with praise! Time to shine!
Skyward! Stray clouds converge! We need a branch, Meddler.
Time to go!
You guys just came here and you say it's already ending.
Things are about to get dicey.
Well, I mean, I guess it's not false.
World collide!
Skyward! Riveting!
What must go on?
Gotcha!
Please remain seated.
Game's up. Fun's over.
Let my name echo in song!
Scatter! Let my magic seize the skies! Consider it.
Higher, hands on fire!
Busted.
Think what must go on?
Gotcha.
I just need energy here now.
Scatter! Skyward!
Apologies.
Ow. Ichimo sagashite.
Break a leg! I'll leap! Watch out! Hiya! Hey there! And a silver send-up! Nice touch! Nice and spicy! Yeah! Teamwork is true! Your grand finale! Ice step! Eat this! Watch out! Watch out! Hiya! Attack!
Let's light it up!
Coming at ya! Race you! Coming at ya!
Where are the mushrooms? Is the Jade Bloom actually different than it doesn't summon anyone? Interesting. Also, that's still a 3-star.
Yeah!
Wacky.
Let the world collide!
Quietly now. Things are about to get dicey. Scatter! Skyward! Stray clouds converge!
Time to go!
Quietly now. Game's up. Fun's over.
Let my name echo in song! Strike a...
Gotcha. Gotcha. Yeah, skyward. Make way for the...
Go!
Quietly now. Here comes the catch. Gotcha.
Let the world collide!
Yeah, scatter. Skyward. Stray clouds converge.
Job's over!
Quietly now. Game's up. Fun's over. Gotcha.
Strike a pose! Time to shine!
Yeah, skyward. Scatter. Seize the skies.
See? Higher, higher, pants on fire!
Quietly now. Here comes the catch. Busted.
Shower me with praise! Let my name...
Skyward! Make way for the...
Holy shit.
Quietly now. Game's up. Fun's over.
お金がなくて助けてよお願いないのだ
Things are about to get dicey. Gotcha. Skyward! Scatter! Stray clouds converge.
It's over!
Quietly now. Game's up. Fun's over. Busted.
Shower me with praise! Let the world come!
Yeah! Skyward! Make way for the... Quietly now. Here comes the catch. Busted.
Yoo-hoo! Time to shine!
Seize the skies!
Higher, higher, pants on fire!
Gotcha. Game's up. Fun's over. Busted.
Strike a pose! Let my name echo into
Skyward! Scatter! Make way for the...
This isn't good! Remember?
Here comes the catch. Quietly now.
That must be a retribution damage or something. Why am I dying?
Let the world collide!
Shigoto wa Mokane sakura Nakira de san
Shower me with praise! Time to shine!
Busted. Things are about to get dicey. Quietly now. Yeah! Skyward! Stray clouds converge!
See? Job's over!
Gotcha. Here comes the catch.
Yoo-hoo! Let the world collide!
Yeah! Skyward! Make way for the... Game's up. Fun's over.
Strike a pose!
Yeah! Scatter! Skyward! Busted. Gotcha. Take it easy.
Let my name echo in song!
Things are about to get dicey.
Scatter! Ha! Stray clouds converge!
See? Yeah! Higher, higher, hands on fire!
Busted. Quietly now. Game's up. Fun's over.
Yoo-hoo! Stop time to shine!
Skyward! Scatter! Make way for the...
Quit it! Yeah!
Here comes the catch.
Let my name echo in song! Strike a pose!
Skyward! Scatter!
See? Phew.
Busted.
There's so many enemies. What the fuck? Can they be grouped? Is the pro stock strong enough to do that?
Shower me with praise! Time to shine!
Gotcha. Things are about to get dicey.
Yeah! Scatter! Skyward! Seize the skies!
Time to go!
Quietly now. Here comes the catch. Busted.
Let my name echo in song!
Yeah! Scatter! Skyward! Stray clouds converge!
Go!
Quietly now. Game's up. Fun's over. Busted.
Mechanical
Here comes the catch. Busted.
Skyward! Seize the skies!
Higher, higher, hands on fire!
Quietly now. Game's up. Things are about to get dicey.
Strike a pose!
Yeah! Skyward!
Quietly now.
Mamma mia. Oh, there it is.
Quite sick right now, but alas, already know.
Being too popular can be such a hassle. Who knew the people would adore me so much?
Actually,
Nice. Alright, I'm taking a break. I'll do this later.